Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or great night, and let's get started. So this video is going to be a deja vu from the harvest season update and the out season update. Yes, following all of my previous analysis, there is nothing new, no change. And so let's take a look on what is going on. So here we have Dow Jones, Dixie, total tree, which is just a second, which is out season. And here we have Tether, right? So you guys know the drill. And once again, let's do this. The one who is bullish, the ones who are bearish, and how this is going to unfold. Because here is the thing. There are multiple ways to look into this. Multiple ways. Okay? So let's try to make this as simple as possible. The Federal Reserve, it already started cutting interest rates. Now in October next week, let's look here, is the first meeting is on 28 and the decision comes on 29. So yes, it is next week. So the United States administration, it's weakening the dollar on purpose. And we have bad reports. Like, so for example, inflation, it is bad. Yes, but according to their numbers, it is not. But quantitative tightening will stop and quantitative easing will continue. So it means that the Fed will start to buy again from the market. And with lower interest rates, investors and etc. will lend more money, support this money into the markets. So this is the fact. Okay, so this is not an opinion. It is not up to debate. The scheme here is, in order to Dow Jones to go up, the dollar has to go down. And in order for the dollar to go up, stocks have to go down. But this is not the time. Okay, it is not yet. And very, very soon, we are going to hit my other target, right? 89 points. Very, very soon. But in my opinion, it is not going to be the end. There will be further downside continuation before there is changes in the United States. Okay, so straightforward, very simple. And you guys remember, when you flip the Dixie, you have the euro against the dollar, which is completely bullish. Okay, so it's their nature. So for example, another way to read this, we can have stocks and the dollar into the same trend. It has to be different. Okay, they can be the same. And the same thing is true for the crypto market. Okay, once again, there is multiple ways to read this, but this is one that is as simple as possible. Easy to read, easy to understand. So, Tether, it is not like the dollar fundamentals, but it's almost the same. Okay, so the bearish continuation we have here on Tether, it means multiple things. And one of these things is, let's say, people, or even exchanges or whatever, investors, whatever, people who have Tether are going to spend their Tethers. And this is one of the reasons Tether dominance will go down big time, which means these Tethers are going to something. And what you can buy with Tethers? You can buy crypto. Okay, so this, it is not opinion. This is a fact. Okay, so it is not what I'm saying. It is what we have here. So one person who have no idea about this may say, well, this is wrong, we are going down. No, it is not. It is not what the fundamentals and the charts are saying. Okay, so in total tree, what we have on total tree, we have bullish continuation. And once again, for one to be bullish, the other has to be bearish. Just like here, the conventional market. It is straightforward. There is no way to be wrong on this. It's like almost impossible. Okay, this is the connection, the markets. So I even shared the targets, the first targets for Tether dominance. I don't remember. It was 227, 217, the first one, and then we are going to see a quick rebound before continuation, downside continuation. Yeah, so basically, in other words, it is not the moment to hold cash, okay? Because we want to hold cash when things are not going well. When it is time, so the market's timing, it's time to buy, not to hold cash. And this is also one of the readings, also on the Dixie, also, okay? So for example, why would I hold dollars if I know dollars are losing value and euro is gaining value against the dollar? You see, it's all about reading, understanding, making choices, and preserving wealth. Okay, so here on total tree, just give me a second, folks. Okay, so let's take a look again on total tree. Okay, there are multiple ways to look into this. So we already know the fundamentals. We talked about the fundamentals. We understand what we have today, what is going to happen, and then we move to the charts. Okay, and now I'm going to go with you guys into multiple steps, just as you guys see. That is not my opinion. It is what we have. Okay, so the first one, probably the easiest one to read here, is Ichimoku. Just a second. Update. Yes. Okay. So how do we read Ichimoku? When we have a bullish trend, we have a setup like this one here, which in other words is just like high, higher low, higher high, higher low, consolidation, higher high, or higher low. So this is a bullish trend. Okay, and here we have a clear one, very clear. So once again, this is not up to interpretation. It is the evidence that we can see. Okay, some people, and the turning point was right here, which is this moment right here. Okay, so this was the when we had clues about bullish continuation. Okay, because otherwise it could continue going down. Unlikely because of the setup. Even here, we had a bullish setup. This one wasn't clear, but yes. Okay. So we have a bullish confirmation on Ichimoku. And you may be asking yourself, what is this green line here that appears to predict the future, but it doesn't? It is what we call the guideline or the trend line. Okay. So when it's above, it's a bullish trend. And when it's below, it's a bullish trend. Okay, so once again, just for you guys to understand, when the trend line is above the cloud, as you guys can see here, it's a bullish trend. And when it is below, it's a bearish trend. Of course, we are not reading macro here. Okay, we are only on the weekend, and we understand that to read the macro, you would have to go into the monthly chart, multiple years, to figure out what the trend is. So basically just explaining to you guys in technical terms, but this is short-term action, even though it's multiple years that we are talking about. But yeah, so just for you guys to have a view here. Now let's take another look on the pattern side, or what some people like to call fractal, which I don't like. So some friends said we have a monster cup and handle here. And I said, okay, so let me take a look, because usually, it is not a standard, okay? Usually the cup and handle, it's a bottom reversal structure, okay? But again, it's not a law, okay? So for example here, if we take a look, what would be a cup and handle here, is this. This is a cup and handle. It's perfect. It has symmetry. So it's here. And this is bullish. Okay? Very, very bullish. And just for you guys to have an idea what the target will be. So this is not 100% accurate, but it is going to be very, very close. Very, very close. So the first target is around here. Yes. So we are about to see a 200% increase in total tree, excluding Bitcoin and altcoin, and Ethereum, forgive me, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Then we have also Bitcoin Plus and Ethereum Plus. Okay, so I don't remember exactly what is Ethereum capitalization right now. Probably 1 trillion. I don't remember. Bitcoin. Please forgive me, folks. I'm sleepy. So Bitcoin is 221 right now. If Ethereum is 1, we have 320 with a plus. Yeah, so it's probably the numbers that we talked in the past, above $10 trillion mark for the total crypto market capitalization. Okay. Yes. So there is more ways to look into this. Yes, there is more ways. One is simple, which some people like to use. The problem is that they only use when it matches what they want to, or their bias will. If evidence it's against what they want, they are not going to show these things. As you guys know, I don't use these tools. It is not necessary. But just for the sake of the knowing, the understanding, what we have here, so the first cross, it's called, just a sec, there's some, oh, okay, it's wrong. I think the colors are wrong. Just a second. This is 200, 200. Is the blue or the red? Is the red, yes. The other one is, best one is the blue. Been a long, long time since I don't use. Yes, perfect. So when the fast one crosses the slower one, it's called a death cross. But it can be a fake signal because you need time to properly make a call. So you need evidence to make a call. So this crossing can be tricky. That's one of the reasons I don't use these tools, because they give later, or let's say a delayed confirmation. Okay, so it's problem. And we have ways to make this in advance, which is 1,000 times far, far better. Okay, but again, just for you guys to have an idea. So death cross, And when the fast one crosses the slower one, it's called golden cross. So you see, we had two completely different signals here. But once again, going back to the trend, a health trend is red below and blue above. So this is a perfect healthy bullish trend. And what we have here, it's bullish evidence, not bearish. But somehow, if we had this, this would be bearish trend. That will lead to bearish continuation. But it's not what we have. So all these bears, all these people who are pessimists, it is just their emotions talking. They don't have any single piece of technical evidence to support their idea. Okay, this is a fact, because otherwise we would be able to see it here, right here. We could observe, measure, so on and on and on and on and on. Is there something else? Any other tool? I don't think so. Oh, forgive me, folks. Yeah. Another way to look into this is another here. Another one here. I'm measuring pivots, folks. Pivots. And this one right here. So it's bullish. It's keeping the higher low. What is the higher low? This is the low. High 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 low. Marginal. Also high low. What do we have? We have bullish trend. No change. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then some people were scared to death and said, well, this was a bloodbath. No, it wasn't. But even if it was a bloodbath, I will tell you this. So let's say we went from 1 trillion all the way down to 500. A 50% decline. Or let's say close to. Okay? Would still be high-low. Marginal, but it still would be high-low. So the fundamental change we could have here would be something like this. I will have to make adjustments. Okay, so right here. Is this a triangle as well? If that had happened, this is what we were going to have. So even with a possible bloodbath, this would still be bullish. This setup here, right here, this pivot would lose its importance. This one as well, and then we would have a new bullish pivot. And that is what we were going to have. So you see, would still be bullish. So when people say, oh, this is it, it's over, you know, we are going down, well, they have no evidence. And even if we had, for this to break, something really, really catastrophic would have to happen, which doesn't make any sense because what is developing, it's bullish. So fake signals can happen in smaller time frames, and they happen all the time. But into bigger structures, macro structures, it's very, very unlikely to have a fake signal. It's very, very unlikely because we can start to see evidence in advance. And that is the key to read the bigger picture of things. Okay? So now let's take a look into XRP. Okay, so here we have XRP. Let's do the same exercise, forgive me, that we just did. We started with Ichimoku. Okay, so you guys tell me. Now we are going to read it again, okay? Exactly in the same way that we did. So this is just for a different perspective, different view. So something that you can see for yourself and not something that someone is talking about. So this way you're not going to make any mistake because of probably a opinion or a different view, because this is not like a hidden text or something, a riddle that can have multiple interpretations. Either is bullish or either is bearish. This is a health trend, bullish trend. This would be a bearish trend, okay? And by the way, this chart right here, it's XRP against gold, and XRP is overperforming gold. Yes, XRP have more gains than gold itself. And by the way, where should I put my money? On gold or XRP? Of course, XRP. It's a fact. So it is not up to debate. And by the way, this is not financial advice. So here we had the change, as you guys can see, from red to green. The change comes like this. It's red, then it makes a cross like this. Green stays above, and red stays below, just the line. As you guys can see here. First we have the red cloud, then the change, then we had it again. And then you may say, well, but hold a second. We have green, red, green, red, green, red. I'm going to break this in a way that you guys can understand very, very easily. Okay? So, the first example, the break itself. Okay, how to read? Here we had the cross, then a little fake here, but this is the after, so there is no problem at all. Very impulsive move. Then we had bullish continuation here. Just take a look. So you see? But of course, folks, we can read these things before, not after. Okay? And all this, everything that you can see here, it's a lagging, a delayed indicator. That's why we don't use Ichimoku. So this is just for you guys to have, let's say this is a class. Okay? And I want to show you different perspectives, just to as a confirmation that we don't have any bearish evidence or clue or whatever. It is what it is. Okay? Always remember this. And then we talked about the Elliott setup 0, 1, 3, and 4, 5. Perfect Elliott waves setup. Then we had what we just talked about. We had the red, then the change, big upside move. This was important pivot. I was hoping you guys remember 280, 270, but didn't change it anything. Okay, so then we had once again the same scenario. Red stayed down below, then the change right here to a fake that was the trial when the SEC decided to appeal, but that was a trap. The confirmation, so for those who use Ichimoku, the confirmation only came right after it already happened. You see, that's why we don't use it. And I call it this way, way before even Ichimoku. It is documented in video. Okay, so now let's zoom in here. Oh, and by the way, you guys remember the drill, right? What is the triple C? Correction, consolidation. So The first one is correction. The first one, consolidation. And the third one is continuation. Okay, perfect setup, clean, very straightforward. I explained this back in the day when XRP was on the 40, the 50, the 34, and the last train series that I recorded 5 videos. If you check the date of all those videos, if I'm not wrong, I started to record close to here or here, I don't remember exactly, but was all the 5 lowest points that XRP had. Last chance, and every the after video, we didn't have the same opportunity to buy XRP cheaper. It was becoming expensive and expensive till the moment that we are right now. So today, we don't have opportunities to buy XRP cheap again. Okay, which is another confirmation of the trend and the bullishness that we have at hand. Moving forward, correction, consolidation, continuation. Right now we are in continuation. It's a new phase in the process. Okay, Ichimoku. The guideline, it's above the clouds. Bullish trend. The guideline, it's above the blue and the red, which is completely health. We have some a nasty move. I'm not going to say it wasn't nasty, but right now we are trading. If you just ignore the empty body, because we have the pattern, which doesn't make a rule or a standard, but it's just a pattern that is to trade back inside empty bodies. But this time, I don't believe it is going to happen. So the market is adapting fast to everything that we catch in the radar. Everything. So if it starts happening often and often, we catch, and then the market, it is going to change. Because otherwise, it makes the market predictable. And when the market's predictable, it's easy to make money, and that's something that the market doesn't want it. So, yeah, look into pattern, what we have. We don't have anything that is clear, anything at all. And as I told you guys, some people will start to look into a head and shoulders. So first, let's talk about what people are going to talk about. And this is what they're going to do. They are going to say, this is a perfect head and shoulders, that this is the top, is the end, and this is a fantastic bear trap. Okay, I'm 100% sure about this. I have no doubt at all. Because when they make such a move, it creates room for wrong interpretation. Yes, now we are talking about interpretation, because if you are literally reading what you see, then the market can make you a fool, can lead you to a mistake. So, for example, Peter LeBrun, it's a person who is always going to read only what he sees. So it makes him predictable in the market. Okay. So for example, traps. A trap is something that is not predictable. It is there. Sometimes it is, but not all the times. Okay. So in my view, I'm taking this. It's hard to tell because we only have 3 sets of, actually only one, plus the beginning of another set of pivots. I'm not trusting this one here. Once again, we could see a small downside move here before the big one. But this is the thing. So let me tell you how I'm doing this. Let's go into smaller time frame. Okay. I want the 4 hours. Yes. So right now, it is not, let's say, necessary or wise to try to acknowledge structures here on XRP. Why? Because this guy here, this pivot, it is not consolidated. So it can change, can even go above the previous one. Okay, so if I say, okay, hold on, we have a possible descending structure here, descending channel, whatever, and then this makes room for bad interpretation, where you can say, well, this is probably how it goes, because that's how this kind of patterns go. They descend, and then, okay, high low before going up. So if the market wants you to think this way, this is probably wrong. Okay, so that's why I'm not making any call right now. I'm just observing. This is our way to do this. We have a setup, methods, ways, and trying to make a call out of this, it's not wise, not wise at all. What we can do is to draw the line on the Fed rate adjustment, that they are going to cut rates again. And then we may think, okay, so how this can unfold? There are multiple ways, folks. So if we take in consideration all the three directions that a pattern can develop, we are talking about more than 18 patterns. 18. And the outcome here, it is going to be the same. It is going to lead to upside. And I have no doubt about this. You may not agree, but you just have to wait and see. Because if we had just one doubt or something that appeared to be off or wrong, I would be the first to hold dear to that thing and think 10 times about that. For example, if we had just a single bearish evidence, just a single, like 3%, 5 or 10, I would be somewhat, okay, I'm considering this. I'm thinking about this. And why? Folks, by nature, I am bearish. By nature. And it doesn't mean I am going to be a bear in a bullish trend. No, it is not about this. It's not about being bearish all the time. It means that if the market wants my money, the market will have to fight really, really hard to get my money. So this is what about bears. You know, bears, it is not just about, oh, the market is going down, oh, the bears are having some fun. No, folks. It is all about making money, losing money by the end of the day. Okay, so it is very easy for the market to catch money from people who are always bullish, but it's very, very hard to get money from people who are bearish, because they know, they understand both sides. They know what happens in one field and in the other field, one realm, in the other realm. So we are not biased by option. We are not biased by emotions. We are biased by fundamentals, by technical evidence, experience, so on and on and on and on. Okay? So my approach here right now is just watch and see, because this high-low probability that we talked about could very well develop here. Okay? That's why we don't try to nail things that we are against the probabilities. So once again, if I have 18 options and I have to, and we make a degree, or we lower these options from 18 only to the direction, we still have 3, which means 1 out of 3 in the long term trying to predict, I will often be wrong. Like 60, 66% 60% all the time wrong. So that's why it's pointless trying to guess things before they are clear. Okay, it's waste of time, waste of energy, and will lead to a scenario that is not best for us. So it's waste of time and energy. Okay, so XRP is looking good in my opinion. I'm not concerned at all, but I need some time to see how this is going to unfold. Okay, and it is going to happen very, very, very soon. Now let's take a look into XLM. Here we are, XLM. And we are going to do the same strategy that we did for all the others. And let's see what the tools are saying. Oh, I should have used the moving averages for XRP, but you guys can do on your own. And you're going to see the same thing that we saw in the others. So Ichimoku. Okay. You guys will learn that in the monthly, before the break, this is always what we will have. A scenario like this. And we had one just like this on XRP before the break on the 50 cents. But when you move into the weekly, you will see will change to green. Okay, I haven't done this before, so it is going to be a surprise for me as well. I don't use Ichimoku. Okay, so here we are. Told you guys. It's a perfect bullish development. Very, very, very perfect. Very. Literally fantastic. Couldn't be better. Now what you are going to do, go back to the monthly. Let's use the moving averages. Yes. So the fast one, it's blue and it's 50. This lower one, it's red, 20. 200. 100 and red. Folks, this is a helping hand when you are investing, but not a helping hand when you are trading. Okay, not financial advice, just something out of experience. Okay, so one of the reasons, so we just talking about this. Okay, one off is the fake signals and delayed signals. Death cross, golden cross, death cross, golden cross. And the problem here is that we are in a scenario here for XLM. XLM is in triple C. So we had the highest point on the run, correction, consolidation, and the break, which is yet to come. Okay, this is not the break yet because this is still lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. We are going to take a look into this just in a few seconds. So the break it is going to come from here. So correction, consolidation, continuation. Okay, very easy, straightforward, and the delayed signal that this time it is not going to come back again. Why? Because even patterns have their own limitations. Yes, patterns have limitations. They are bound to rules, to the board rules. Yes, I'm not joking, folks. The day long ago when I said that I was working something that will change the way that we make technical analysis, I wasn't joking, folks. I wasn't. That's why we can chart uncharted waters with deadly precision, just like I did with Dow Jones, SP 500, gold, Coinbase, Bitcoin, etc., and all the others are going to play out as well. And yeah, so pivots, 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 pivots. Yeah, so we lost this one, but it's inside bar trade, so it is not significant. Even though this guy here, it is what? Low from the correction, higher low, and higher low, which makes this a perfect health bullish monster that is going to deliver massive profits for those who are listening to the charts, not to me, just reading. Okay. Yeah. Now, what else we can do? We already take a look at Ichimoku, pivots, moving averages, and there is nothing else here. Take a look. I already shared the forecast for XLM. I already did it. So let's do this, just a quick one out of curiosity. It is not going to be 100% accurate, but just for a idea. Yes, close to 9, maybe 10. Could be above. Yes, of course it can, because I'm not setting limitations, and one of the reasons is I don't want to underestimate this macro bullish monster here. I don't want to be the guy who are going to set a line and say, this is it, it's over. No. What I'm going to do is to watch and then observe before uh, jumping into a decision, a conclusion, okay? But it's a monster, folks. Just like XRP, we have a monster here, okay? What else we can take a look? Ethereum, yes. There we go. Ethereum. So in Ethereum, we had a fake signal here that appeared to be a triangle, bullish triangle, and it wasn't. But there is something here, which is, I believe this is not part of another structure. I believe this is the early stages of the bull break already. Okay. And why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because we are running out of time. Okay. So let's take a look on Ichimoku. What Ichimoku would say. Oh yes, and here it is, a perfect, healthy, bullish continuation picture. Yes. Now let's take a look into averages. They're correct. Yes, they are perfectly correct. And as you guys can see here, we have the bounce, not a death cross here, just the bounce. And understand that it doesn't mean the blue line will always bounce or will always cross. This is, sometimes it will happen, other times it won't. That's why we don't use it, because there is no standard, there is no rule. It is what it is. Sometimes the signal will be right, other times the signal will be wrong. And if you put this in a balance and you end up with a 50-50 scenario, which in my opinion is going to be way below 50, then it is a no man's land for a trader. Okay, but each one knows what is best for traders, right? So another way to look into this is, it's funny, measuring the pivots without looking to the pivots, just by the pattern, because patterns are everywhere, everywhere. And then here it is before the big one, which in my opinion It is going to happen very, very soon. Above, of course. So this is interesting because we had a perfect also Elliott waves setup right here, but was a smaller one. 0, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5. Very, very clear. Okay. Yeah. So now what we have here is that this guy, this whole setup right here, can also be wave 1. Yes, because wave 1 is the first big upside or downside move that prints the first wave. And then this would be the correction or consolidation before continuation. And the third wave is the most profitable one. Okay. I don't remember my target for Ethereum, but if I'm not wrong, is around the $12,000. If I'm not wrong, there is enough room here. Yes, there's no doubt. And we are going to see how it unfolds very, very soon. Now let's take a look into very important things. Just a second. Oh, please forgive me, folks. I forgot to mention XRP against Bitcoin. So this chart is 100% irrelevant, holds no significance at all, because the bullishness that we can see here, we can see on XRP USD itself. This is just a conversion rate between XRP and Bitcoin, and this doesn't make the calls. The one that makes the calls is XRP against the dollar or the euro or whatever. Okay, I did this out of curiosity because a friend shared something about this, and I was like, oh, okay, it's been a long, long time since I don't take a look, and so let me see it. So we have evidence for bullish continuation. It is looking good. It is. Even here on Ichimoku, there is a cross already. There is a change, which indicates a bottom reversal. And yeah, it's looking really, really good. Again, these targets are more for a trader's perspective than an investor's perspective. And why? Because an investor will look into XRP USD and not only. Okay? While a trader, I don't even know if we still have people that trade XRP BTC. Maybe, probably, yes. But so this is more of a trader's perspective. Okay. Uh, yeah. And triangles, they are just like a traffic light. Okay. When it's green, you go. When it's yellow, you pay attention. When it's red, you stop, or it's dangerous. Okay. So once again, more of a trader's perspective than an investor perspective. Okay. I don't know what you do. It's up to you. And remember, if you are able to purchase a buy or sell button, you must know or understand what you are doing on your own. You will always be responsible for your decisions and your calls, right? I'm just sharing what I see and what I will do if I were trading. I'm not trading. It's been a long time since my dad passed away, and then I have to take care of my mom, and I really didn't had uh, a healthy mind to do that, and also didn't have the time. So that's why I decided to stop. Maybe in the future I will come back, but not today. I'm using this time to do other things right now. Okay. Yeah. So now let's take a look into Bitcoin. Okay. One chart that is very, very, very important is Bitcoin dominance. And this one here, there are multiple ways to look into this. I even shared the forecast for Bitcoin dominance that is going to drop in the near future. Uh, it is going to be catastrophic. Okay, but one step at a time. So let's use the methods that we used before, starting with Ichimoku. Okay, it feels like it is bullish, right? Yes, but it doesn't. Now, and by the way, this is a great example about grinding lines and something that may appear to be a bullish trend, but it isn't. Okay, so what is the evidence? The evidence here is this is the previous high, and this is the local high, which is our high. Okay, and the consolidation here. So once again, correction, consolidation, continuation, correction, consolidation, continuation. So Bitcoin dominance is in a bearish trend. Okay, you may not see the evidence, but there is another way to take a look into this. Here, show you how the tools are here. So, how so? There are two ways. The first one is we go into the previous high, all the way straight down. In here, we are going to see what? Golden rejection. And not just one. We had multiple ones. This one didn't even made it. And it means that in this trend, Bitcoin dominance will keep below its 50% mark. You see? Which makes a bearish descending triangle. Forgive me, folks, I'm back. So, this is bearish trend with bearish evidence, consolidation before the continuation. There is no doubt here. This is 100% clear. And also something that I was talking about before, which was when Bitcoin dominance was ascending, we were talking about the way it was ascending. And what we have here, it's a grinding line, which means it is only a correction from the previous move. So once again, this whole move right here belongs this move right here. So it is just the correction. So you see how it goes? Bang, 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 bang. Very weak. This is a big sign of weakness. To then break, which every uh what is the name? I just forgot the name. Grinding lines. Yeah, so every grinding line, it's kind of a sign of weakness, or perhaps just a local correction. But in this case, it's just more bearish continuation. Okay, because or also the right way to read this bearish structure right here goes like this. This is how it goes. And then you may say, well, but hold a second. We are trading above the golden level into the 2360 range. Yes, but folks, every Fibonacci setup that goes like this, it's a bearish one. And every one that goes like this, it's a bullish one. Actually, it's the other way, sorry. From 0 to 100, that's the bullish one. And when it's from 0 to 100, it's the bearish one. Okay, so you see it starts on 0, or from 100 to 0 is the same because the continuation doesn't go below 0. It goes below the 100. As you guys can see here, the same, the continuation go below, but goes above. That's one of the laws for Fibonacci. So that's why it is very important for you to learn when, how to read, how to measure, when to start measuring. So Fibonacci, it is just not a silly tool that you draw and say, oh yeah, the 50%, oh, we are above 61, then this, that, bang, 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 bang. No, it will never make sense. Okay, so you must understand how it works. And by the way, you guys know people who doesn't know how to use this tool. I don't even have to mention, you guys know the most dumb thing a person could do to vandalize a Fibonacci setup. Right here. It could go worse in a known log chart, which is all the levels are equally adjusted using the same math. They can be different. If they are different, they are wrong because this is the law. Okay? It's the law. Can be changed. Otherwise, it's 100%. Now, let's take a closer look into second. Yes, once again, Tether itself. Now let's do the same exercise. First, Ichimoku. Oh, here it is. What we were talking about. A bearish trend. And where we have a bearish trend, we are going to have bearish continuation, which means if it's bearish for the crypto dollar, it is going to be good for crypto assets because all this money it is going to go into assets. There's no other way. And we have the best scenario example on the trend, how it changes. And here it changes right here. As you guys can see, the trend line is still below the cloud. And price action, this is not price action, this is an index, but yeah, the point, the behavior just goes below the red line all the time until we find something like this. But in this case, I'm not sure if it is going to be the Tether death, but who knows? I don't know about the Tether future. Probably they are going to vanish because we have more reliable options. For example, Ripple USD, or even the other one that I forgot the name. Circles. Yeah, if not wrong, it's Circle Dollar. Yeah. So yeah, folks, we have multiple evidence. This is not a joke. This is serious. A lot of people are going to end up with more pain. They will embrace more pain because they will be wrong again, and those who sold their long-term investments are going to regret deeply, and they will make even more mistakes. There is no other way. Sadly, this is the reality. It's how it goes, and so that's why I say, folks, and I will always say this: if you wanna make a living out of this, if you are just investing, want to become a trader or whatever, if there is money on the table, you better start learning about what you are doing because at some point luck ends and it is tough. Okay? It is no joke. It's complicated. I mean, it's complicated for those who neglect knowledge. Okay. Uh, yeah. So, uh, Moving average example, here we had the change. And some may say, well, but it could happen again to cross again. And that's when you enter the coin flip scenario. So you stop being a assertive person looking to fundamentals to start gambling, playing with odds. And that's not what we have here, not playing with odds. Okay? How do I know there is not going to be any change here? How do I know? I know because this kind of structure, which is old enough to be solid, it's a bearish one, and the outcome is going to be ugly. Yes. I mean, for us, it is going to be fantastic. But for some people, it is going to be really, really catastrophic. If I'm not wrong, the first target 66. Probably. Then we may once again may see a slightly correction before the final one. And reading this, here we have, so for example, let me do this in an inverted way because the correlation, it's inverted, okay? So XRP and Tether dominance are inverted. So which means we can read this as XRP at 50 cents, XRP at 2 and how much it is right now? 2 and 51, right? So XRP at 251 consolidation, then XRP at new highs, target, consolidation for XRP after wave 3, and then we had to wave 5 down below. So once again, we could also read waves. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 5. So I'm not doing the zigzag. I'm just reading to you a big chance on how this is going to end. Okay, this is based on multiple analysis. It is not just about Elliott. To be honest, as I explained it to you guys, when you know how Elliott works, you don't draw a single line. If you are able to read, you don't have to draw absolutely nothing. Okay, you just do it out of the eyesight, anytime, anywhere, any chart, or anything. Okay, so I don't have to do the zig this, zig that. No. It is not necessary. And also it's becoming uh, vandalized what people are doing with Elliott wave. It's truly sad to see the nonsense they're putting on top of it, and then when they end up wrong, they're going to blame Elliott. Oh, did it happen? The zig this showed zig that, but instead the zig, and then the zag. You know, it's just coin flips. These people are gambling with charts. That's what they're doing, and that it is not what we do, not we want. Okay, and before we end, let's talk about Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin, please go to see healthy, bullish trend, and so far there is not a single piece of evidence that suggests that this is over. We have a bear. It is not a bearish candle. It's people would call this bearish spinning top. But once again, it is not bearish at all, not at this moment. And in my opinion, it is a trap. Okay, but as soon, so this is just a different way to look into it. Okay, so I'm just reading Ichimoku. So it's Ichimoku view. As soon Bitcoin goes to its first target, that if I'm not wrong, it's around here, too far away, too. First target. Then we may see, maybe, may see a strong correction for final target. And then it is going to be very ugly. Very. And this is also aligned with what? Bitcoin dominance, which is going to break its floor and will be resting on top of 20%, maybe 25, 15. Yeah. So absolutely bullish here. Now on the weekly, is it still bullish? Same bullishness is still here. Okay? No evidence of anything bad at all. And even if Bitcoin just dropped to 80,000 or so, would still be high low. You see, there are multiple steps for us, folks. Processes, steps for confirmation before making a call. People making bearish calls out of the blue. It is just their anxiety, emotions, fear, lack of knowledge, and goes on and on and on. Because fear, it's the fruit, and it's occupy the space of knowledge. If you have knowledge, you know the fundamentals, there is no space for fear. Doubt, yes, but not for fear. So when you see people scared, talk about this the end, it's over, doomsday, folks, ask about technical evidence. They won't be able to show you any, okay? Not at this moment, there is not a single piece of evidence. Now on the 3 days, not a single piece. On the daily, oh, they may say, whoa, we are below. Yes, but it's nothing. Take a look here. In the smaller time frames, it happens all the time. All the time. Keeps changing to smaller time frame. That's one of the reasons I don't like to use Ichimoku. It is only for a different perspective, and that's all. Okay, let's say you have let's say you're going to war, and you have like 4 or 5 weapons. You know, you will always consider one of the 5. So this one is best for this kind of engagement. The other one, so for example, for support, I will go the M249. For assault, I would go with the M4, or let's say it's a recon operation. Let's go for the I forgot the name. It's S98 or the AMP. It's purpose. Okay, purpose, situation, purpose, options. Yeah, that's all. Okay, so things are looking good. There is nothing bad yet, and oh, I forgot. Already did it. No, I where I oh here it is. So show me where we have a bear market, bearish market, a bearish asset, a bearish trend. Folks, there is not a single piece of evidence. Not a single one. It's a absolutely void. A absolutely zero. A complete nothingness. Absolutely nothing. Okay, back to patterns. What we could say here. Do we have kind of a megaphone structure? Appears to be. Appears to be one, right? Yes. Do we have any confirmation? No, not yet. Not yet. But is it bearish? Not bearish at all. Once again, previous low, low, high low, everything looking good. And take a look here. This is the kind of traps that are happening into the crypto market too often. Too often. It appears to be a triangle, something bullish, or even a head and shoulders. But then it plays in a way that is completely unpredictable. There is always a mix of patterns that the market is making things harder for us to make money, traders wise. So that's why today I prefer to only invest and try to read what can be seen. Okay, because the days of clear structures and outcomes are long, long gone. Long gone. The last time was, let's say, October 2019, 2020, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's been a long time since we had clear outcomes. Wild days, happy days. Yeah, but it is what it is. We have to work with what we have, and we gotta be grateful because it's hard, yes, but we are still able to do this. And we keep learning in the process. Okay, so folks, I really, really hope this video helped you guys in one way or the other. I really hope you guys can learn one thing or two. Uh, we are always learning, right? So this life is a school. We still have a lot of things to do. This is not over. It's far from over. And what I can tell you, it's the just don't join the dark side of the force, you know. Don't jump into the crazy bear tears train, because it is not the moment yet. Not yet. Okay. And when the time comes, I'm absolutely sure that if we are able to call this upside, I will also be able to call the downside. And I really want to make some legendary calls. And yeah, I'm working for this. We already achieved many, many incredible things over all these years. And I really hope I can do this again. Would be truly fantastic. So guys, stay safe. Uh, don't give up. Yeah. And I will see you guys soon. Stay safe and see ya.